What's up, this is Stephen Bloodworth, and I'm going to be re-reviewing Megan is Missing. I reviewed it maybe 7 years ago, but with all the talk going on, I'm going to review it once again. First off, wow, can't believe it's been 7 years since I reviewed this film. A little earlier today, my girlfriend asked me if I've seen this horror movie called Megan is Missing, and I told her, yeah, what about it? And she was pretty much freaking out, saying that the film is entirely real, and all of this other stuff, and I'm just like, what? Slow down. So yeah, she found out about it on TikTok, and after doing some research, I found out that Megan is Missing is going viral all over TikTok and all over social media. Yeah, Megan is Missing is a disturbing film. It's still disturbing to this day. Why is everybody talking about it nearly 10 years after its initial release? Yeah, I mean, people did talk about it back in 2011 when it was released, saying that it was a really disturbing film, one of the most disturbing films they've ever seen, but out of nowhere, it just suddenly exploded and is trending everywhere. I reviewed this years ago, and a lot of other people have reviewed it, so I'm going to give a re-review on the film, but I'm gonna make it as brief as I can. The film is a found footage film in the same tradition of films like Paranormal Activity, but for the purpose of this film, it has more of a connection to a found footage film like Unfriended. The film is made up of web calls and vlog footage between Megan and her best friend Amy. Megan is the popular girl, and Amy is the unpopular girl that Megan has been friends with for as long as she can remember. One day, Megan is talking to one of her friends, and her friend tells her about this guy that she met online named Josh. To Megan, Josh sounds like a nice guy, sounds like he's interested in the same thing she's interested, except nobody knows what Josh looks like except in a few pictures that he supplies to them. Every time he gets on a web call with them, he always claims that his little brother has broke his webcam. Megan and Josh make a date, and Megan is never heard from nor seen of again. Megan's friend Amy attempts to help out and even contacts Josh to see if he might know of what happened. Josh pretty much tells her, you know, mind your own business and keep your mouth shut. And Amy decides to go to the police and explain that Josh is most likely the person responsible for Megan's disappearance. That leads to Amy getting kidnapped, and we assume it's Josh, but then again, we don't know what Josh looks like. But we see Amy get beaten, raped, thrown into a barrel, and buried alive. So that's pretty much the film. Now let's get into my overall thoughts on Megan is Missing and how it still lives up today. When the film was first released, I heard a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people ranked this film in some of their top most disturbing lists, and even New Zealand had banned the film. Interestingly enough, the film was never intended to be a horror film. In fact, it's listed as an educational film. You know, they show you the videos in driver's ed of drunk drivers and seeing them butchered behind the wheel. Those videos are not meant to be horror films or shockumentaries, they're meant to be educational films. This film is an apparent reenactment of a true story, which makes it, yeah, a educational film, but I can understand why people call it a horror film. I can understand why people are disturbed by this film. It is a disturbing film. I have seen more disturbing in the horror underground from directors like Lucifer Valentine and Marian Dora, but for a film that was released to stores on DVD, shown on Netflix, and even available on Amazon Prime, it is one of the most mainstream disturbing films out there. Just a fun fact, the DVD is out of print, and today I decided to check eBay to see if there were any copies, and there are several copies, all of them being listed for well over $100. So how does Megan is Missing hold up for me nearly 10 years after watching it? Honestly, my opinions haven't changed a bit. It is still a disturbing film. It still disturbs me. The ending, absolutely grotesque, and I can see why a lot of people today are disturbed by it, because the internet is an ever-growing platform, and with apps on social media like TikTok, Snapchat, Tinder, it is a lot more easier for predators to find victims. And yes, people do call this a horror film. Myself, I consider it a horror film. And when it comes to horror films, people think that it needs ghosts, vampires, zombies, a lot of blood, but this film, there is a few scrapes involved. There's some more grotesque footage, obviously, but it just shows that some of the most effective horror films out there don't necessarily need all of that. The main villain in this film is an online predator, someone we don't see, but the idea of a young girl being stalked and preyed upon is one of the most disturbing things. Interestingly enough, the director of the film, Michael Goy, reached out to all of his fans on TikTok, explaining that he is pretty much apologizing for not making it known to be warned by the film. You know, don't watch it at night right before you go to sleep, and if you do not want to be disturbed, pretty much stop the movie after seeing the text Photo 1 appear on the screen. And for those that don't know, Photo 1 is basically a photo of Amy being chained in a fetish S&M style. It's uneasy to think about because children, as well as us adults, we're on the internet a majority of the day, and a lot of the time, a lot of us will talk to strangers. And there are also several Joshes out there on the internet. And we don't know who these people are. They may be the nicest people in the world, or they might be some of the most depraved human beings on this earth. All I could say is, be careful on the internet, and if you have children, make sure you teach them about internet safety. So that's my review and my take on Megan is Missing after seeing it nearly a decade ago and making my first review almost 7 years ago. Anyways guys, thank you so much for coming by and checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all of my latest videos posted every Monday and Friday. And also make sure to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to stay posted on what I'm doing behind the scenes of making these videos. Before you click off this video, don't forget to hit it with a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below saying if you've seen Megan is Missing and what are your thoughts on the film. Until next time, take care and stay scared.